Hello there. Y'all know the drill. Welcome back to one of my silly little tangents where I talk about something that I'm obsessed with for far too long and it has no real value. Now, today, who are we kidding? I'm talking about Epic. Epic the Musical. My life at this point. Now, for these silly little presentations of mine, I typically like to get a little dressed for the occasion, you know? I'm nothing if not overcommitted to the bit. Today is no exception. Now, if you'll excuse me, allow me to change it to something a little more appropriate. Please? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, bitch. Hello there. Oh, look at her. Oh my god. Oh, who is she? I understand the allure of this to Jenna Marbles. This is incredible. Where's my stick? Do I look like a man who's been stuck on an island for the last 7 years? I sure hope so. Oh my god. It keeps coming up when I'm laughing. Okay. Get it together, big boy. Alright, back to the real show. Hello, welcome to Red Robin. May I take your order? Epic the Musical, baby! We know it. We love it. Now, if for some reason you're still watching this video and you have absolutely no idea what Epic is, have you found yourself in the right place, bud? I absolutely love Epic the Musical. It truly has taken over my life since July. It's now December, and I am oh so impatiently awaiting the release of Ithaca Saga, the last 5 songs to be released, and I am coping with it by making silly PowerPoints. I truly think that this musical is incredible, and I think that everyone should give it a listen. If you like Greek mythology, if you like good musicals, if you like just good music, it is just an incredibly well-constructed piece of art. And if one of your friends has been talking about something for the last few months nonstop and they suddenly sent you this video, this is what it's about. Anyway, let's get into it. If you've never heard of Epic the Musical, again, run for the hills. Epic the Musical is a musical adaptation of the Odyssey by Homer that was written like 3,000 years ago by one Jorge Rivera Herrens, if that is your real name. Now, this musical has been written and produced over the past 5 years, and the process has almost been completely documented on Jorge's TikTok account, which is how we're all stuck with it. In that time, he has released over 600 videos explaining his process of writing these, showing off some music, doing funny little sketches that make you giggle. And let me tell you, I watched every single one of those TikToks yesterday. I'm very tired. This is not like a musical that you could go see. It's not coming to your theater soon. It's, again, solely done online by Jorge and by all of the incredible cast and crew, and currently it's just an album. Hopefully in the future we could get something like a play or a movie or an animated show or something like that, but currently as it stands, Epic the Musical is broken down into 9 sagas, which you can see here. Each of these sagas basically covers like one main event or set of events that happen through the plot of the Odyssey, and they are currently divided into Troy, Cyclops, Ocean, Circe, and Underworld Saga for Act 1, and then in Act 2 we got Thunder, Wisdom, Vengeance, and Ithaca. If you can't remember those now, don't worry about it. Once the hyperfixation sets in, you'll have absolutely no problem getting those down. As it currently stands, all 8 of these first ones have been released, and the Ithaca Saga is due to be coming out on jolly old Christmas Day, December 25th, 2024. Now, each of these sagas has been released at a different time. It goes in the chronological progression of the show, which is starting in Troy, starting at the end of the Trojan War, and ending in Ithaca Saga when, you know, we get back around. By the way, there will be some minor spoilers for the Odyssey and for Epic in this. Again, I'm going to try to limit the spoilers for Epic as much as possible because I want you to go experience it for yourself. I don't want you to hear it from me. That's the worst way to hear about it. It does help if you know the plot of the Odyssey. If you don't, the book's 3,000 years old. You've had your time. Now, with that, let's dive into a quick little history of Epic the Musical. I'm not going to get into too many details because honestly there are a lot of other videos that go into better detail about this in probably a shorter amount of time that you can just go watch, and that'll do the job just fine. I'm just gonna get, like the quick points to give you a little bit of background. February 6, 1998, in Puerto Rico, Jorge Miguel Rivera Herens was born. I'm just joking. Again, we're not going into that much detail. Anyway, that is in fact Jorge. Epic all started off as an undergraduate thesis assignment for, I think, his theater degree or something like that. Now, this might be a little intense for a college project considering it's 5 years later and you've already graduated and this is now your job. However, you get carried away. Sticking with it 5 years later, that is a commendable feat. January 2021 was when Jorge over here started his TikTok account and introduced the world to Epic. He looks so young and he just starts off a video by introducing Epic and then going straight into a song that doesn't exist anymore. The first song that he introduced Epic with was an early draft of Full Speed Ahead, which the fan Wikipedia page tremendously notes down as Full Pete Ahead. Hilarious. But it starts off as a rap intro by Athena. It's kind of great. I think it doesn't fit into the show now. The early versions of this were a lot more rap heavy, so I don't think it would have a place in the current finalized version of Epic, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Now, on August 23rd, 2021 is when we get the first instance of My Friends, along with this picture. That's not important to this at all. I just think it should be noted. Again, I watched 600 of these videos, and this is the kind of thing I was thinking about. On January 5th, 2022 is when we get the first draft of Epic completed. It consists of 40 songs, all listed out here, most of which will still be in the finalized version, but a lot of them are either changed or modified. Most of Act 2 is pretty much the same, but Act 1 changes a lot. 8 months later, August 28th is when we get the final draft of Epic completed. 3 years and 3 months after it was initially started. On December 25th, 2022 is when the original version of the Troy Saga was released. I say original version. We'll get to that later. Now, quickly following that up, the original version of Cyclops Saga was released on January 27th. Now, here's where things get a little bit messy. This was not really stated within the TikToks themselves at the time because of, legal battles going on. But essentially, there was a dispute between the original producers that signed on to Epic and Jorge and the rest of the cast and crew. Frankly, they just didn't pay them, which is fucked, all right? Pay your artists. It's not that hard. Sometime between early and mid 2023, Jorge separated from the producers and just absolutely pulled a T-Swift. He created his own production company, Winion Entertainment LLC. Everyone got back together to re-record the first 2 sagas and everything that they have worked on since then, because Jorge's the writer, he owns those rights, he has the right to re-record those, like Miss Swiftie over here, like Miss Fossil Fuels herself. Now, I did already say that the final draft was completed. However, sometime in October 2023, Jorge finishes rewrites for the last 3 songs of Epic. Things aren't hitting as he would like them to hit, so he went in, rewrote them, and I'm so excited for them. December 25th, 2023. A year later, Ocean Saga is finally released, the 3rd saga within Epic, and it is accompanied by what might be my favorite TikTok that Jorge's ever made. It's the one with Steven where they introduce it, and it's so funny.
Hi, Steven Rodriguez. Oh, hi, Jorge Rivera. What you up to? Oh, I'm just listening to Epic, the Ocean Saga, releasing on December 25th.
February 14th, 2024, Valentine's Day. The little special treat he gave us is the release of the Circe Saga. April 26th, we get the Underworld Saga released, and thus closes out Act 1 of Epic. Now, here's where things get a little bit interesting. July 4th, 2024, Thunder Saga is released, the first saga of Act 2. More importantly than that, the new versions, Jorge's versions of the Troy and the Cyclops Saga are re-released. More importantly than any of that, July 5th, I decided to bleach my kitchen and I decided to finally give Epic a little listen, And here we are. August 29th, 2024, the Wisdom Saga was released with glowing reviews, I might add. October 30th, 2024, Halloween, was the release of Vengeance Saga. Hermes making a comeback, baby. We're pretty much caught up to where we are today, which is waiting for Ithaca. I want to go home. Now, time for a little literary lesson. Odyssey. What the fuck is going on there? If you've never read the Odyssey, this is pretty much how events go. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything too major for you, but I am going over the entire plot, so you're gonna have to listen to it. Now, the Odyssey is essentially a sequel to the Iliad. It's where Odysseus is coming from initially trying to get home. I'm not going to talk about the Iliad. I already talked for far too long about the Trojan War. If you want to listen to this, go somewhere else. Up there, maybe. I don't know. I spelled Odysseus wrong. Shit. In the beginning of the Odyssey, Odysseus and his crew of little guys, they are headed on home to Ithaca. However, along the way, they run into, some might say, a few obstacles. As they are a group of hungry boys, they want to get some food. The food that they have deemed to eat first is some sheep, right? Sounds like it's going to go good. Wrong. The sheep that they try to take are owned by the Cyclops. Things do not go well. They make it out of there and they mosey their way on over and find this wind god named Aeolus, who's just a weird old man with like 20 kids on a floating island. And Aeolus gives them magical bag of winds with the instructions, do not open. Things don't go well. They sail on away and they find themselves in the land of the giants with the Lystragonians. Things don't go well. After that, they find themselves stranded on the island Aiaia, inhabited by the witch goddess Circe, and they all have a great time, except they don't, because what does she do? She turns them into a bunch of pigs, not having a good time. However, Odysseus is able to weasel his little way out of this situation, being the cunning little guy he is, and eventually Circe does release them. After they leave Aiaia, they mosey on down to Hades Town. They go down to visit the underworld. They're looking for the prophet Tiresias to tell them how to get back home. Do they have a good time in the underworld? Objectively, no, but comparatively, yeah, pretty fucking great. Except for Odysseus. Odysseus does not have a good time. They leave the underworld, and what do they find? More monsters that want to kill them. And guess what? It's more hot ladies. They run into the sirens, try to sing to you, then drown you. They run into Scylla, who just goes to town on them. Very bad time with these two. The crew are once again hungry, and they decide, hey, that worked out great last time. Let's go get some cows. Things don't go well. Long story short, Odysseus ends up stranded on an island with a deranged woman who just is in love with him, and she won't leave him alone, and he wants to leave, and she's like, you want to go? What I'm hearing is you want to stay here for 7 years with me and only me. After a little bit of a godly intervention, he does manage a little jailbreak. He gets himself off of the island, and he's making his way out of there. Guess what? It's another monster, and this time, it's still a lady. Charybdis is basically this water sarlacc, for lack of a better term, sea monster that just like swallows everything up. Just one more thing to add to his to-do list. Not like that. Now, this entire time, Odysseus has just been playing friend or foe with the gods. You don't want to fuck around with the gods, but they want to fuck around with him. There are a handful of gods who help him out occasionally, and another handful of gods who just want to destroy his fucking life. Like, all of this is not him being bad at sailing, it's the gods getting in his way. He was at war for 10 years and he was on the ocean for another 10. That's 20 years. Meanwhile, that entire time in Ithaca, his home, his incredible wife Penelope and his cutie patootie son Telemachus have just been fighting for their fucking lives against 108 men who essentially invaded their home, stole their food, and want to bang Penelope, kill Telemachus, take Odysseus's throne for their own. All of these men being the suitors. Now, that might seem like a lot to put on a guy's plate, and it is. All right, no one's having a fun time in this story, quite frankly. Now, there are some differences between the Odyssey and Epic the Musical. Things change! Epic is not a one-to-one adaptation of the Odyssey. It is a musical inspired by the Odyssey. Jorge has taken some creative liberties, a lot of creative liberties with this story, and I think they all make a pretty great result. Now, while some of these changes are unintentional by either misunderstandings.
Epic, I was like, yeah, it's a floating island. It's gonna be an island in the sky.
or straight up goof boo-boos on Jorge's part.
12 long years.
12 long years.
12 long years.
Everything else is like pretty well thought out changes that were intentional and add to the story. The first of those changes being Aeolus and the Winions. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the wind god Aeolus is like a creepy old man with 20 kids. Instead of that, we get this cute little baby girl who's got these little guys called the Winions, and they're just little fluff monsters. Now, do the Winions add any like plot-heavy inherent value to Epic? No. Are they fun and do I love them? Abso-fucking-lutely. They're just cute little guys who sometimes get real high and occasionally help out. Now, Aeolus also lives on a floating island. Instead of the floating island being like a rock in the sea, it's an island in the sky, which is sick. That makes sense for a wind god. Homer, you should have thought of that. Another big difference with Epic is the presence of some gods, mostly those two being Poseidon and Zeus. At least to the best of my memory, these gods do not make physical appearances in the original Odyssey. It's more of like interpretations of their powers, you know? There's a storm that's brought on by Poseidon and a storm that's brought on by Zeus. Mostly just storm. It rains a lot on the ocean. In Epic, these two actually do make physical appearances. Both are terrifying. Oh my god, they're so good. Their voice actors are just so incredibly talented. The presence of these two do kind of take over some other events that happen in the Odyssey. One of those being the Lystragonians. All of their major plot points have been handed over to Poseidon. It's in ruthlessness. I love it. Technically they are there, but it's more like a fun little secret, you know, Easter egg that you'll only get if you're watching the live streams. On top of that, we have Circe and Calypso. Now, these two beautiful ladies right here both trap Odysseus on their island for great lengths of time, but the main thing that's different between their characters in the original Odyssey and their characters in Epic is in the original Odyssey, these two both like quote-unquote seduce Odysseus. This being the modern age, Odysseus is being held captive on their islands. Since the man has like no ability to consent to any relationship with them, that's just assault. Now, I think it was a great idea to get rid of any of that sort of interaction between these two and Odysseus. I know a lot of people don't like Calypso because of said assault, but like within Epic itself, I don't see evidence of her like attacking Odysseus. It is very clear that she does want to sleep with him and he does say no, but like if there's like a specific line that you can point out to me that like proves she does or does not do anything, that would be great, but otherwise I'm inclined to believe that she is just kind of pining over him a lot for 7 years and not actually doing anything beyond that. On top of that, we have the Sirens. The Sirens play, I would say, a much bigger role. They have 2 fucking banger songs for them. Their like mystical powers are a lot different than they are in the Odyssey. If you want to learn more about those, Jorge has like a whole video on how they work. But anyway, that's not how they work in the Odyssey. In the Odyssey, they just plug up their bees with earwax and they go on their merry way. And it's just like, hi sirens, bye sirens. Now, finally, we have Get in the Water and 600 Strike. This is the end of the Vengeance Saga, and these events do not take place in the Odyssey at all, but I think they're great and I love them. If you know what's going on here, I loved it. I thought it was great. It's so much fun and so silly, and I had a wonderful time. Also, just now realizing God Games also doesn't really take place in the Odyssey. I think Athena does go talk to Zeus at some point, but there's no tournament games going on, you know. Great choice with God Games, great choice with these two. I love the songs. What a shockingly good time. Now, on to what we're all really here for. As I mentioned, this whole process has been chronicled on TikTok, and I watched every single one of those 600 TikToks. I've seen God. I feel like I have aged 1,000 years and have also sped through time at a breakneck pace. I've watched the last 3 years of Jorge's life within a matter of hours. I did ask you guys a few questions about Epic, you know, what you liked most about it, what your favorite songs. Thank you for anyone who replied back. I found all of your feedback very interesting. So, the music. Some great stuff about the music. As I mentioned, the very first song that Jorge introduces on TikTok was in fact a cut or like early draft of the song Full Speed Ahead. Now, throughout this entire process, he has written so many fucking songs. I think he said that he's written like 2 or 3 times more songs that have been cut that are actually in the show. And there are 40 songs in the show, and all of those have gone through like endless amounts of, like drafting and rewrites. So obviously there are a ton of songs that like didn't make the final cut, but they're still documented on TikTok and they're just so much fun. While they had great story elements, they didn't fit in. The music didn't fit like the vibe of the show, even though they're bangers, like this is the way. I do love being able to see, all of these scrapped ideas, little like non-canon events that are going on in the Epic universe. Specifically, I Need Her to Be Mine is a song between like young Odysseus talking about how much he loves Penelope. I love this song so much. It's so wholesome. We have other songs like Appetite that are much less wholesome, but also very fun. I did not know where the fuck this came from because I don't know if I mentioned this. I don't have a TikTok. I just learned about Epic through animatics on YouTube. So this is one of the cut songs that was like really early on like introduced. I asked y'all what your favorite songs were, and someone said that their favorite song was Your Light and that it got cut. And I was like, what are you talking about? I've never heard of this song before. What riddles do you speak in? That's what led me on this whole mission to watch every single TikTok. And Your Light was a song that was introduced probably like the 3rd or the 4th song that Jorge ever shared on TikTok. And oh my God, it is so beautiful. I know what you mean now. This is like one of my favorite songs too. It is so sweet. If I can describe this song, it's like a platonic love song between Polites and Odysseus. And it's essentially like We'll Be Fine, but instead of being Athena and Telemachus, it's Polites and Odysseus. Like, I get that they had to cut it. I would love to see Steven do a cover of this. Anyway, there are a ton of other like great songs that got cut in earlier drafts that, like motifs had to be scrapped or like somehow fit into another song. Within Epic, there's not like the typical like song and then reprise of a song that you get with other musicals, but you do have reoccurring elements that show up throughout a lot of the music. For example, if you look at the second song, Just a Man, the main chorus of that song goes, when does a comet become a meteor? When does a candle become a blaze? When does a man become a monster? That tune and lyric pattern is repeated like throughout the entire show of Epic, mostly in Act 1 and also in the Thunder Saga. And it just comes back again and again, and every time it's like a punch to the gut. With these cut songs, there are a lot of like musical motifs that originally show up in them, but are still present in the musical. The original closer for Act 1 was a song called Man of the House. There is like a musical motif that shows up in that song, and then another song between Odysseus and Penelope, which might just be another part of Man of the House, but the same theme is then repeated later on in the finalized version of Legendary by the Suitors. It's the part that's like, where is he? Where is the man who'll have you to wife? Once you realize that that was originally sung by Odysseus to Penelope as like a way to court her, and then it's being sung like out loud by the suitors as like a threat to Penelope, it changes the entire dynamic. Anyway, if you want to listen to all of these, there are a ton of great animatics for them, and you can also just go listen to the songs as they are. Highly recommend Your Light. It's so sweet. It's just beautiful.
Life gets hard when you're lost in the dark. Let me be your light. Let me be your light. Let me be your light.
Now, as I mentioned, with the musical motif, there are, of course, those like lyrical patterns that come up, but there's also something really cool about Epic that everyone loves, and more importantly, Jorge loves it, which is that each character has their own, like theme song and is also represented by a different instrument. For Odysseus, his main instrument is a guitar. When it's like the softer sections of songs like Just a Man, he has an acoustic guitar. And then when there's more like battle heavy songs, like the first song, The Horse and the Infant, it's an electric guitar. It's sick. But, each character has their own motif that they're going with. Athena's represented by the piano. Circe's got a cello. Poseidon has a trumpet. Penelope is like a viola. And then Telemachus, who's their kid, is like a mix between a viola and also a guitar. But it's also a great way that Jorge has like hidden in secrets within the music. Like, this man goes so hard on the music. I had no idea how much goes into writing a song. Obviously, I don't know shit about anything. He'll point out the most nothing snippet and be like, hey, this character is actually present. You want to know how? Like, see, in this little tiny background noise, you can hear a ticking clock. Yeah, that's because Athena's watching over them. In Puppeteer, when they're singing, you can tell that Hermes is watching over them because Hermes' little lyre is, you can hear it like playing a few little notes in the background. It's incredible. So much time and effort went into writing like the music for this. Not only the lyrics, but also like the orchestration of these. All done by Jorge, might I add. What? I have no talent. Can you share some, please? If you want to hear a man yap about something that he is so passionate about, go look at his videos. I could listen to this shit all day. Now, something that was also documented on TikTok very well was the audition process. Almost every single person that's in this musical was cast through TikTok. Jorge basically held like open auditions for people who wanted to like volunteer with his fun little project. It's turned into like actual paying jobs now. And oh my God, I cannot believe that some of these people were just existing in the world without me knowing about them. Wangui here was wrangled into this through the open auditions, and it's also so interesting to see, like, a lot of people who ended up getting roles didn't get the role that they initially auditioned for. She got the role of Calypso. Analia, who ends up playing Penelope, they originally auditioned for Calypso. And then Talia Sindel, who plays the incredible Cersei, she originally auditioned for Penelope. Talia also originally auditioned for Zeus. What a fucking power play. She killed it too. It's incredible. And then Aaron Alexander, who plays Antinous, he originally auditioned for Tiresias. It's also so nice that, like, after all of the auditions were closed, Jorge was like, oh, you know, like, some of these people didn't get it. But, like, here are some wonderful auditions who I just really loved. Even though you didn't get the part, I thought you were incredible. And he just goes and, like, compliments people all the time. Like, a third of this man's TikTok is just him reacting to people, like, making things based off of Epic. And he's just like, oh, you're so talented. Thank you so much for making this. He loves Epic more than anyone else in the world, and it really shows. Oh my God. And then there was the whole thing with Steven. I don't know if this is 100% accurate. This is just what I got from watching the TikToks. Is I believe that Steven Rodriguez, who plays Poseidon, was originally cast as Poseidon. And then there was some sort of like scheduling conflict. They needed to recast Poseidon. And then this was around the time where there was the breakdown with their original producer. Fuck that guy. Ocean Saga got delayed for like an entire year because of it. Jorge still held auditions for them. And then Steven comes back as Poseidon. I don't know if like the scheduling conflict was worked through, but I am so glad that that man is Poseidon. But I truly cannot imagine anyone else playing Poseidon other than him. The last thing that I want to talk about from watching all of these videos is Jorge has just been like hinting at spoilers, hiding little Easter eggs for years. It's been in front of us the whole time. Like in one of them, he's like, oh, you know, like I love this like sweet little piano melody. Isn't this like so fun and calming? And just like casually drops the ending of Thunderbringer. If you know the piano at the end of Thunderbringer, he just casually threw that in there. What the fuck? And then this is a comment that he left on his own video from December 2021 about the ending of Vengeance Saga. Are you kidding me? Ah! God, Jorge. Jesus Christ. This man has known the plot the entire time and has just been fucking playing with us like a bunch of rats.
And then my second pick would be somebody who specializes in wide range attacks like Poseidon. As long as Poseidon can keep Ares and Athena at a distance, I think he should be good to go. Otherwise, he will lose to them in close combat.
Jorge! Oh, Taylor Swift would be so proud. It was also so fun, like, looking back through these comments. People that I recognize as, like, part of the community would just start popping up. Other voice actors would just be, like, throwing in compliments. It was incredible to see the people who have been here for so long, because I just got here. I assumed that all of these people just, like, sprouted out of the ground, like, fully formed like Athena. But no, they've been around for a while. They're real people. I was not expecting that. It's also wonderful to see Jorge's just slow evolve into madness. Back in the early days, he was a bright young lad with so much future ahead of him. And then it's just degraded into like garbled nonsense. It's so much fun. But like, are you doing okay, my man? However, one such of these comments really stuck out to me. Jorge, I'm reminding you, buddy. Please make it happen. If you just want to see some of the shenanigans he gets up to, but don't have time to watch 600 TikToks like I did, just look up like Silly Saga compilations. They're all over the place. They're hilarious. This man's a big goof. I want to take a moment to appreciate the just fantastic crew. All of these, quite frankly, like stunning people. I don't know why they're all so hot and also talented, but it's unfair. Jorge, of course, has written everything that we're obsessed with. JP up here, he does all of like the mixing and mastering. Everyone else is behind the voices. We've got Aaron plays Antinous, Steven plays Poseidon, Kira is Aeolus, Lightning Bolt Holt over here plays Zeus, we got Troy as Hermes, Brandon's Apollo, Anna's Penelope, Earl is Ares, the incredible Talia is Circe, Armando plays Eurylochus. Also, I know y'all hate Eurylochus, but Armando does such a good job, truly. He's incredible. I think the man deserves a little more respect. KJ plays Scylla. They absolutely fucking kill it. Posey is Hera. Miko is our little baby boy Telemachus. Stephen Dookie, Polites. Tegan is Athena. Wangui. Barbara Wangui over here is Calypso. Genini is Aphrodite. Mason plays Tiresias. Of course, we have Jorge's actual family involved. His mom, Wanda, plays his mom. And if you read the Odyssey, you'll know why that's heartbreaking. His dad, Mike, plays Hephaestus. Like, this was such a good choice. Not only did he kill it in God Games, but also God of the Forge, building things. The man built the recording booth that all of Epic was recorded in. If that's not Hephaestus core, I don't know what is. And last but not least, we got Diana, his sister, playing the Princess Winion. She showed up in early 2021, was referred to as the Princess Winion, and then made her come back 3 years later to be in the actual show as a dancing Winion, and she killed it. All of these people are like so incredibly talented. If you want to look up any of them, really. Some of them are like professional singers, some are professional voice actors, some of them just have regular jobs. I've listened to everyone who has songs up here, and they're incredible. Like, they are genuinely such good artists. Jen and I just released an album like that's all about Greek mythology. It slaps. I love it. Mason over here was just on SNL in the Timothy Chalamet lookalike contest skit. He was in fact the Willy Wonka version. We all know Steven has music, okay? Don't lie to me. You've listened to it. Oh my God, Tegan. Oh, Tegan's music. I listened to it. It'll make you cry. It is beautiful. I've been listening to Troy's songs on repeat. They're so fucking catchy. But anyway, everyone over here, go check them out. Show some love to these wonderful creators. Oh, the only person that I don't have pictured up here is Zwist, the artist behind all of the just incredible cover art for Epic. They do the designs for all of the albums off of Jorge's questionable instructions, but they all come out looking beautiful. All of these are just so gorgeous, so like luminescent, and I can't wait to see what the Ithaca Saga looks like. Another thing about Epic that everyone seems to love is the community. And tell ya, y'all are great. This community is so wonderful. It is led by Jorge. This man, as much as everyone here loves Epic, I don't think anyone could love it as much as he loves it, which, quite frankly, is incredible. Like, be proud of the things you make, guys. Look, like, the vocal artists who are part of this are so talented, but like, the fans are so talented. The people who draw and make animatics are so incredible. That's why I'm here in the first place. I was shown Gigi's animatic for Horse and the Infant like over a year ago. I don't know what the fuck I was doing, like not hopping on this immediately. I quite frankly lost out, but I'm glad that I'm here now. I do wish that I had hopped on Epic a little bit sooner, but you know, that's fine. I'm happy where we are now. It's so lovely that like as a production, Epic allows people to make, you know, such incredible art from it. Unlike some companies who seem to like want to punish fans for liking their stuff. Nintendo! Another thing that I love is since there's no actual stage play or like visual media that we can see, Jorge hires fan animators to like animate for like official Epic work. If you watch the live streams, there are like animations that go along with each song. They're incredible. They're so well done. Every animatic is a different style. And I love that the official Epic designs are meant to be portrayals of like the actual actors in it. I think that's so cool. It's a good way to like see them, even though, you know, you can't really see them. I could fill so many slideshows just with the fan art I love, and I would only ever see, you know, like a tiny percentage of it. I couldn't even begin to list and all of the art that I love up here, but I'm going to anyway. Drawing Angie over here is just fucking incredible. This little animatic is a work in progress of Remember Them, and the hair and the facial features is insane. I don't know how someone is that talented. Angela, you're incredible. But besides that, everyone is just so nice. If you go onto the Discord server, there's just a whole page called Open Arms where people share good things that have happened to them or just sharing positive messages. It's so sweet. It's so wholesome. The covers are also incredible. They'll blow your pants off. Not like that. Maybe like that. There are other ways. It might blow your pants off. I don't have a TikTok, so I don't see most of the stuff that goes on here, but I opened it up the other day, and this girl just translated all of God Games into sign language. It's incredible. I thought it was just gonna be, you know, like the intro. It's the entire like 4.5 minute long song. And she does it for multiple songs too. Little appreciation down here for Minnie, rest in peace, best cat. And then another wonderful thing is just Jorge's, for lack of a better word, insane ramblings over here. Like I said, a slow descent into madness. This man runs the fan community and also runs us into the ground. Another thing that people shared with me is that, like, you know, they want to have fan art or like they want to share these things, but like they're afraid they're not good enough. Go ahead and share it. I encourage you all to share your fan art. No matter how shitty it is, it will be beautiful. No one is harder on your work than you are. Everyone else will love it. I've shared things on here and they're shit, but y'all are still so fucking kind about it. I love it, but it's garbage. If you want to share any of your work publicly, let me know. I would love to see it. I'll come check it out and I will hype you the fuck up. Without a doubt, other people will too. It's also so important to note that like these fan animations, the fan art, this is what like drew so many of us in here. I got introduced through an animatic. A shit ton of you got introduced through animatics or from covers or from other people sharing it. And I love that people are able to share the things that they're interested in and get their friends and family and random strangers on the internet interested in them as well. And I think that's very wholesome. That being said, I want to have another little soapbox moment here. I do understand that a lot of the Epic community is very young. Some of us elders have some words of wisdom for you. Specifically today, I do want to talk a bit about public communications and how to interact with people on the internet. I don't want to shame anyone or like make you feel bad about anything. I just want to give you like a little PSA on some good tips for interacting on the internet, okay? If you want to go like interact with artists, go for it. That's great. Tell them that you appreciate their work. Also know that these people are in fact people, especially for like the actual vocal artists. Now, what I have noticed on a lot of the comments of these videos is people just constantly calling them by their Epic character's name. While I'm glad you're enjoying their music and supporting them, they are not their characters. These are actual people. And while they might also love portraying that character, if you only talk about that character constantly, if that's the only thing that people ever recognize them for, it can kind of wear down on them over time. It's different if they're like actively acting out this character, if they're actively doing stuff for Epic, but besides that, maybe just like refer to them as their own person and not the role that they're playing in a production. Also, we don't need to comment on people's public relationships, especially if you're not a part of that relationship. You know, you don't need to idealize other people. You can appreciate them. You can talk about it with your friends in person, but the internet is in fact a public space. Do not make like fan theories or like fan fiction about real life people. That's not cool. That leads to a lot of serious issues. Just appreciate them privately, okay? That is all. Remember, the internet is a public place. Appreciate the artists for who they are. And if you're not a part of a relationship, you do not need to comment on that relationship publicly. Again, I'm not trying to put any of you down. I'm just trying to help you out a little bit so that you don't unintentionally harm other people. That is all. Back to the fun time. Back to silly garbage. We've got some fresh, hot, tasty memes. Y'all are so fucking funny. Everyone in this community is so talented, but also like so fucked up. The memes for Epic are incredible. Like half of them are from Jorge himself. Like he thinks about it and he's like, I'm gonna write that in and I'm not gonna tell them about it for 3 years and it's gonna be so funny when they find out. Whether it be just like memes, animations, silly little jokes, I love them. Also, if I can influence you all to do anything, it is to go check out this video right here. This is possibly one of my favorite videos in the world. It is simply titled, Odysseus Fills His Bees with Earwax. It is 9 seconds long, and it is exactly what you think it's gonna be. I think about this every single time I hear different beasts now, and it is so funny, and it is criminally underrated. If you don't think it's as funny as I do, that's fine, but someone's gonna think it's as funny as I do. I'm looking out for that one person out there who's got the same garbage brain as me, who loves this. Now, speaking of fresh, hot, tasty, there is another little something that I want to talk about when it comes to Epic. Like I said, I love all y'all. You're incredible. And I mean this with like the utmost respect and love in my heart, but y'all are some of the horniest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life. All of the animatics just make the gods so hot, rightfully so, but all of the comments are just thirsting after these people. And then we have people like Aniflama who just takes it above and beyond, infects everyone with heinous ideas, and then watches from the sidelines like Regina George as chaos erupts. It's so funny. This is also coming from a person who has in fact made a horny video about Epic. I regret it almost daily if it weren't so goddamn funny. Now on that note,
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Never really know who you can trust.
if you're still here and you don't know what's going on, I'm so sorry. If you are looking for great songs to indoctrinate your friends with, and if you're new to Epic, these could be some good ones for you to start with and try out if you're still willing to give this a go. First off, we got The Horse and the Infant. This is the opener of the musical, the first number of the show. It really sets the stage for the whole production. It begins at the end of the Trojan War, and this is in fact the first song I ever heard. Again, I got recommended Gigi's little animatic for it, and I sat on my ass for a year, as I typically do. It 100% got me intrigued. Next up, we have Warrior of the Mind. This song is incredible because it's got our girl, Athena. This song gives so much musical lore to the backstory of Odysseus. Also, a bunch of y'all say that this is what brought you into Epic. This is the first introduction that you got, is when this was super popular on TikTok. People, remixing it, making edits of it. Up next, we got Ruthlessness. In my opinion, is the banger of Epic. I love this song. Genuinely, when I decided to listen to Epic, I listened to The Horse and the Infant, and then this was recommended to me. I clicked on the silly little video, and I listened to it 7 times in a row. I listened to it 13 times in about 4 hours. It's such a fucking, emo banger. I love it. Up next, Wouldn't You Like? It's so fun and funky. It's one of Hermes' songs, and he's just a little pop princess. And honestly, this is what I recommend to people if they want to get into Epic. If you can't fucking throw down with Wouldn't You Like, you can't be here. I have tried to introduce a few people to Epic with no success, so hopefully you have better luck than I do. I did get one of my friends to listen to the entire Act 1, and by get them to listen to, trap them in the car with me for an hour and a half. I first played her Wouldn't You Like. She was like, I liked it, let's keep going. Listened to Act 1, said it was very good, has not listened to any more. It's been I don't know, a month and a half. Let me tell you, I am playing the long game with this one. She just finally finished Arcane this week, and I've been working on that for 3 years, all right? I'm in this for the long haul, baby. She's gonna like Epic whether she knows it or not. Besides that, we have No Longer You. Now, this might be a little bit of a curveball in here. I think No Longer You is just like an incredible, like theatrical ballad piece. Really, if you got any theater kids that you're trying to convert, this is the one to go for. And like plot-wise, it provides a lot of intrigue without actually spoiling anything in the plot. It's just, you know, like vague prophecies that even us as the listeners are confused about. Besides that, we have Monster. This is the Act 1 finale. It is just the epitome of punk emo vibes. As someone who loves Fall Out Boy, this really just bonked the right part of my brain, all right? This pulls its weight. It's so good. Up next, we got Legendary, our little baby boy Telemachus' song. This song is so much fun. It's such a great, like, pump up, like, let's go on an adventure, like, I want to explore the world kind of songs. Miko just has the most incredible vocals in this. He sounds so wonderful. And also, something that I haven't heard other people mention is how good the Suitor harmonies are. Okay, stick with me on this one. God Games, just like an incredible ensemble performance. Everyone does such a good job. Specifically, like, Gemini's vocals is what got me hooked on Epic. I saw Gigi's animatic for, like, just Aphrodite and Ares' part, and when I heard her, I was like, this is a human? People sound like this? It's incredible. Her voice is so smooth. She really, like, lures you in as Aphrodite. Like, you're gonna have a favorite god no matter what, and this is a great way to get them in there. Maybe just, like, don't show them the last minute of the song. Save that for later. Also, I think there could be, like, so much plot going on that they don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? That's what happened for me. I'm very stupid. Now, one little last like rogue entry that I have in here for you is Get in the Water. However, I specifically mean an animatic done by Ailey Tan Art. It is phenomenal. It is so incredible. I watched this and my jaw was on the fucking floor. Specifically like the last shot of it. Ooh, that lives in my mind rent free. Really? There are so many animatics that you could show people that could like get them into Epic. I have like a whole playlist of animatics that I've just like saved because I love them a lot, whether they're like actual serious animatics or jokes. And there's like 100 of them on there now. But anyway, I think that like you could just show people some animatics and that's a really good way to get them on board, especially like a little visuals, you know, people like something to look at. Hot gods, that's what I'm saying. Now, most importantly, we're back to me. These are my favorite songs. There are so many good songs in Epic, specifically 40 of them. But these are particularly my top 5. Also asking you guys what songs you like most. Like everyone has different songs that they like. There's not one song that's like inherently better or inherently worse than all the rest. Like everyone has such different taste and like all of these songs deserve to be up here. But like I'm being cutthroat and I'm really trying to like crack it down to 5 here. Spoiler alert, there's more than 5 up here, but we're gonna get to that. Number 1, we know it, we love it, Ruthlessness. No one is surprised. I love this song. I will die by this song. It's incredible. No notes. Number 2, Not Sorry for Loving You. This song is so good. Barbara Bengui has the voice of an angel. This is not at all like the vibe of song that I usually go for, but oh my god, it's so good. I know people don't like Calypso, but like, come on, this song is so fucking good. I really was going into Vengeance Saga like thinking like Dangerous or Get in the Water would be my favorites. No, Not Sorry for Loving You. Came out of nowhere. Hit me over the side of the head. At number 3, we got Little Wolf. What can I say? I love fight songs. Athena, Antinous, Telemachus. Oh my god, the fucking piano riff that just goes off. Oh, this song is so good. It's so good. Coming in at number 4, of course, pop princess herself, Hermes with Wouldn't You Like. Such a banger. The first time I listened through Epic, I like didn't really clock this one, and only after like a week of listening to it, I realized this song was here. The worm that it put inside my ear. I will jam out to it every time. The one thing that bothers me about Wouldn't You Like is that the very first note sounds shockingly similar to the very first note of Just a Man. And on multiple occasions, I have heard that note, I have thought, hell yeah, wouldn't you like, let's go party, and then it turns out it's Just a Man, and I've had the most insane emotional whiplash of my life. Finally, at number 5, my lack of decision-making skills comes in, and we have both Legendary and We'll Be Fine. Wisdom Saga just hit so good. I love it. We'll Be Fine is incredible. I think that like this is like possibly the most beautiful song in the show. It's so sweet. Legendary, I love it. It's so much fun. These 3 are all in a row too. It's like Legendary, Little Wolf, We'll Be Fine. Listening to all 3 of these back to back is just a ride for the ears. Now, when I said I narrowed this down to my top 5, and there's clearly 6 up here, I have a little honorary mention that I'd like to bring up. Charybdis. Charybdis is incredible. I love it so much. Charybdis is the only song so far that the first time I heard it, I thought, I don't like that very much. That happened during the Vengeance Saga live stream. I woke up the next morning and I was like, I don't know who the fuck that person was. This song is incredible. Every single time I listen to this song, it gets better and better. I love singing along to this song. Oh my god, Jorge's vocals are some of like my favorite in the entire show in this song. It's got action, it's got calm after the storm, it's got calm before the storm, and it's got screaming in it. All right, it has everything. Now, I know what you're thinking. 2 songs on Vengeance Saga, 3 songs on Wisdom Saga. I clearly have a favorite, right? Wrong. It's Underworld Saga. The Underworld Saga is my favorite saga. How does it make sense that these 3 bangers are not in my top 5, but it's my favorite? I don't know. All 3 of them are so good. The vibes are immaculate. It's short and sweet, and I love it. Possibly my second favorite is Cyclops Saga. It's really growing on me. At first, I thought Cyclops Saga was just okay, and every time I hear it now, I like it more and more. Every single song in the show is so good. Let's just say it. Everyone has such... You're killing me. Howdy, partner. Now, with all that being said, there is still one more saga that makes up Epic the Musical. We're coming back for one last job. The Ithaca Saga. But... I cannot wait for this to come out. Within the Ithaca Saga, there are 5 remaining songs. Those songs being The Challenge, Hold Them Down, Odysseus, I Can't Help But Wonder, and Would You Fall in Love with Me Again. I have done the best of my ability to avoid spoilers for this saga. When I was listening to all of Jorge's music, I was intentionally skipping any of like the parts from The Challenge. I did listen to some older versions of like Olive Tree. Look, I did in fact watch Gigi's Hold Them Down, and I regularly watch that because it's incredible. Wolfie's animatic for I Can't Help But Wonder makes me want to cry. And all of these, I am just so incredibly excited. They're gonna be so action-packed. They're going to be like viscerally brutal, and they're just going to be heartbreakingly sad. People are gonna be crying on the stream, I can tell. As a last thought that I would like to leave you on, I just want to say a huge thank you to, of course, Jorge, as well as everyone else that's been a part of Epic. Those being the actors within Epic, anyone who does the art, anyone who animates for it, and any community members, any community members out there. Thank you so much. This has been a blast. I absolutely love Epic. Things will still be going on after, the 25th. After this, we will have future endeavors to look forward to, and I can't wait for it. And at least I'll finally know what these fucking songs sound like. Jorge's hiding secrets, and I need to know what they are. The Ithaca Saga will be coming out on December 25th. There will most likely be a live stream on December 24th. I don't know. I'm not involved in these things. I'm just guessing based off of many patterns that I've already seen. If you're new to Epic, you can listen to it now beforehand, or you can listen to it on the live stream. They listen to like all of them all at once, and they've got some lovely little animatics to go along with it. It's a very fun time. If you've never experienced an Epic live stream before, you can just see every range of emotion on Jorge's face. I can't wait to listen to it. This is going to be so much fun. But anyway, thank you so much to Jorge for all your incredible work. You should be very proud. You've made something very beautiful, and so many people love it, including me. So thank you very much for 5 years of hard work. Can't wait to see where this goes in the future. Thank you for watching. If you haven't listened to Epic, go listen to Epic. If you have, let me know what your favorite cut song is. People who have been here from the beginning, tell me what it's been like for you, because my god, it's been a wild ride after only like 5 months for me. Anyway, that is all. I have to take off this beard. I fear I may be getting a rash. It's time to go home. We going to Ithaca, baby! Oh yeah! Can you see me? This beard must be seen. There we go, baby. Oh, hey, bitch. Oh! I'm surprised no one has walked by to stare at me today. Shame for them. What am I doing?